Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class. Our textbook is Week 2, and today, inshallah, we will cover Unit 2 My Things Evaluation, where we're going to review the whole unit. It will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al Agil. So let's begin. The first lesson we had in this unit was called the talk time, that can be seen on pages 10 and 11. And our goals in this lesson were to, number one, identify and talk about candies and numbers, and also to count from 1 to 30. So we started this lesson by listening to a conversation between two girls, where the first one asked her friend by saying, "Can I have some candy? Can I have some candy?" And we said that if we want to take a permission, if we want to have something, it is important and polite that we start our request or we start our question with, "Can I?" For example, "Can I use your pen?" Or "Can I have some candy?" Or "Can I read your book?" So it is important when we want something from someone that we start our request or our question with, "Can I?" So the conversation says, "Can I have some candy?" And her friend says, "Sure, here you go." Also, the other thing that we learned in this unit, which is how to give, when you give something to someone, you should start or you should say when you when you are giving the word or the phrase, "Here you go." Sure, here you go, this is my pen. Sure, here you go, this is my book. Sure, here you go, these are some candies. So it is important that we always use the phrase, "Here you go," when we want to give people what they want. And after this, she says she's asking about a number and about how many candies does she have. And the question was, how many are there? How many are there? So she's asking about how many candies does her friend have. And her friend says, "Let's count them." So in this lesson, we did listen and we did count all these candies. And we figure that we have more, or we have up to 30 candies. Would you like to count them again with me so we can learn and be sure that we can count from 1 to 30? Okay, so let's begin. Let's count these candy and see if we have up to 31. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So here we go. We have, or she has, 30 candies. So after this, after listening to this conversation, we said that try to act out this conversation with your partner, whether he is or she is your classmate or a family member. Try to act it out in pairs. And when you do so, don't forget the important big four. And what I mean by the big four is, first, to smile. You always put a smile when you ask or this question, "Can I have some candy?" or "How many of them?" And also to use appropriate gestures with your hand. And also the third thing is to speak in a loud voice where everybody can hear you, and also to make a good eye contact to the person in front of you. And after this, we said that we had an interesting game and puzzle that is called the word hunt, where when you gather around with your teacher or with an elderly family member, that some of them will say a word. And what you're going to do is, when you listen to this word, is that you're going to cross these letters of these words and shout the word raw. So for example, we said when you listen to the word which is show, for example, then what you need to do here is to look around for the word show, and if you find it, you make a line like this and say raw. And also to continue this, when you listen to the other word like fun, for example, so here you need to cross these letters and say raw. So to make it more interesting, you can do so. You can continue to do so until you finish the whole table, until you come across all of these words. The other lesson we have in this unit was called Rhythms and Sound on pages 12 and 13. And our goals were to chant the things on my desk chant, and also to recognize and pronounce some English and differentiate between words starts with SN and SM. So the first thing we did with this chant is that we did listen to a chant that is called Things on My Desk. Now let's listen one more time to this chant, and then we'll move on straight to the next lesson. Chant and point. Things on my desk. Things on my desk. Pens and pencils. Pens and pencils. Paper and glue. Paper and glue. Scissors and erasers. Scissors and erasers. Candy for you. Candy for you. So we did listen to this chant, and we also said that you can think of other things on your desk, like your laptop, like your books, like your the lunchbox, for example, your bag, and other things, and you can add them here to make such a or similar chant. And after this, the second exercise we have was called Sounds and Letters, where we did listen, say, and match these words. So here, for example, here we have 4 different words that we listened to, and after we listened, we did match them with each of these pictures. So let's now try to listen to them one more time and try to match them with the pictures. So the first word we have is smile, smile, snail, snail, small, small, snack, snack. So after listening to this word, now it is our part to trying to match them with the pictures. So what we did last time, we match each of these pictures with the word. So here we have the first one, as it's already written or answered with your books, small as in small butterfly. Now the next word we have is smile. And what we say the meaning of smile is if someone happy, then he is smiling. Also the other word, which is snail, which means an animal. A small animal. And also this will leave us with the last word we have, which is a snack, which is something you usually eat between meals, between lunch, between dinner, and between breakfast. And after this, we said that we need to write down the missing letters with these sentences. And the missing letters, it must be either SN or SM or both. So we did so. we did answer, or we fill in this sentence, and here we have these words. Snails are small and quiet. And after this, we did we learned how to borrow things and how to ask to borrow things. When you go to different people and you want to borrow something from them, it is important that you know how to. It is important that you know what to say to ask to borrow things. And we said that it is important when you borrow to start your question with can I? Can I borrow your scissors? Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your computer? Can I borrow your book? And so on. And what most importantly is that when you do give someone or you lend someone, it is important that you use this phrase, here you go. For example, here you go, this is my pen. Or here you go, these are my scissors. Or here you go, this is my notebook. So it is important that when you give people to say, here you go, as we have seen in these two examples. And after this, we had the third lesson, which is called Words, on pages 14 and 15. And our goals in this lesson were to follow the teacher and play the copycat game, and also to ask, what is this and what are these? So we said here that in this lesson, it is important that we are able to answer this question and when to learn when to ask such question. When we say, what is this? It means that we are asking about one thing. For example, what is this? Well, the answer must start also with it's. We'd say, it's a pointer. It's a pointer. And when we ask about more than one thing, for example, we will use, what are these? For example, what are these? They are lights. They are lights. And we did practice other examples of these. For example, here, the first one we said if we want to ask about one thing, we would say, what is this? And we can point and say, it's a comic book. And also, if we want to ask about the other things, we would say, what are these? They are comic books. And we did the similar examples to MP3 players. What is this? It is an MP3 players. What are these? They are MP3 players. And here, what is this? It's a wallet. And what are these? They are wallets. And also another example, what is this? It's a watch. And what are these? They are watches. So we said that to practice and to memorize this question, we can play the copycat game, where someone would read the question and answer, and the other will follow and copy the same question and answer. And after this, we said that it is important when we ask question with this, the answer must start with it. For example, what is this? The answer must start with it. And when we say, what are these? The answer must start with they. And we did play the pointing race, where we said that have someone will point and ask, what is this? And when you point for singular things, you would start your question with it's. For example, what is this? It's a wallet. And what is this? It's a comic book. And you can do the same with the plural. What are these? They are comic books. And what are these? They are MP3 players. And after this, the last lesson we have is phonics on pages 16 and 17. Now, our goals were to differentiate between SP and SW in sentences, and also to read the story A Funny Day. So we said here we have two different sounds. The first one starts with SP and the second SW, like spider and sweater. And we said that it is important that we listen to these four other words and try to number them if they belong to the first sound or to the second sound. So let's listen again to these words and try to decide. The first word we have here is spring. And what do you think spring belongs to? It is belong to the first sound. So here we write number one and S and P. And the second word, which is sport. And what do you think sport belong to? To the first or to the second sound? It is, of course, belong to the first sound. So here we write number one as well, and we write S and P. Now the third one is already written, which is belong to the the second sound. And what is this word? The word is swing. Swing. And the fourth word, which is swan. And swan belongs to the second sound. And we complete it with S and W. So here you go. Now we have three words with the first sound, SP, and three words with the second sound, S and W. Let's listen to them one more time. The words we have with SP is spider, spring, and sport. And the words with SW are sweater, swing, and swan. And after this, we did listen or we read a story that is called A Funny Day, where we said that after listening to this story or after reading this story, it is important that we try to color the vowel. And what are vowels, you said? Vowels are A, E, I, O, and letter U. And the last thing we did with this exercise or with this lesson, we said that try to count these circles from 40 to 100, and if you find a missing letter, you should write it down next to these circles, and it will be more enjoyable if you play it with a friend. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.